Whoa.
That's loud.
Welcome to our podcast.
Did you put the whole theme song, the whole Russian theme song on here? Damn, boy. Welcome to this very special episode of the Safe Third podcast. Something about the Russia theme song.
Yeah.
Is that the U.S. theme? What's our theme song called? Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah. Yes.
Who does Canada have a theme song?
Oh, Canada?
Yeah. Oh, Canada? Is it like what do they call the opener to like a
anthem.
show, like an anime?
OST.
OST?
Yeah.
Is that what's America's OST? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Don't worry, we got all our tax talk out of the way before the podcast started
What? I thought we were
recording.
gonna-
We're not going to talk about this today. We're going to talk about Scare the Cody season 1.5 that we just recorded the past 3 days.
Yeah.
Holy mother, Nigel, we did such a good job this time. You would be so proud of us if you were here. Guess what time we finished filming every single day?
Well, wait. What time did you say you would be done?
I'll give you a hint. It's the same time we finished.
Oh, see, that's all that matters. Because it's like, yeah, because when you would, this is clear, to be clear, I totally understand why things took long. But it's like, I remember one day you're like, we will be done by 8 p.m. Today will be an early day. We, no matter what.
Was that
Sitting there, it's
the
like
1
midnight.
a.m. night?
yeah. It was like 1 a.m. But the thing is, if you said we'll finish at 1 a.m., then that's a total success.
Yeah.
So I think just being able to predict and then do what you predicted, that alone is a success. And if that time is earlier, that's a mega success.
You know what I've learned is in my life, I've learned that doing things is hard. And then once you do it once and then you do it a second time, it's a little bit easier because you learn from the first time. And so the first Scare the Coyote was hard because we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea really what the format was. I mean, obviously it's like inspired by like Taskmaster and sort of other game shows that I watched growing up.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, like what's the format? Like, do you have everyone doing it together? Are they doing it separately? Is it a combination of things? And then you're like, oh my gosh, do you need like a confessional to hold things together?
We
like,
tried that
what's
the
in
first
between?
time, but we didn't use any of that footage.
None of it got used.
Yeah.
And so like we thought we were making 8 episodes, and then it turned out that the challenges could be edited to be much longer than we originally thought. And so then it was like 12 episodes. And I was like, wow, we could have just spent like literally a quarter less time. Like of all the time we spent, we could have like chopped off a quarter of it.
Yeah.
And so you would have been done like, 2 hours earlier every day. And then you could have gotten rid of other things. And so we did that.
Smooth sailing. It was great.
So this season, we found a bunch of small YouTubers that are doing interesting things and brought them on. That's why it's the 1.5. And I think that if we ever do Scare the Coyote 2, it would be the same thing where it's group challenges.
Yeah, the group challenges were fun.
They were so much fun. And like if you have one person doing a thing that takes 5 minutes and then you have 6 people do that, that's like 30 minutes plus all the resets and everything. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, the resets are what starts eating into the time when you have to wait for the person to go back to the green room and then have the other person come down. You got to make sure the mics are working, cameras are working. Yeah.
And I remember we had, because we were doing the previews. Remember, like every night we would sit around the fireplace watching the previews. And that meant we had to have editors. So there was like 4 editors working to like throw together the previews. And this time was none of that. No previews, no nothing. No reviewing the footage. Yeah. Just like
challenge, go to the scoreboard.
Go to the scoreboard. And then we sort of have like a sort of confessionals thing where we set up a bunch of PTZ cameras, like the Pay Money Webby live stream I was inspired by.
Yeah.
So we had like a hangout area with the cameras. And when people aren't sort of like facing the cameras, they do a much better job sort of like retrospectively talking about the challenge they just did. And so I think it's going to be like a very efficient way to make a show. I do like it. Making a show is really hard. Like making a YouTube video is hard. Making a show is also hard. It's like a whole different thing. I mean, we've talked about making movies before, but like I think that's like an even harder thing to do with a long story that you have to like make sure is moving along.
Yeah, because you want to make sure that you're not going to have any loose ends that you can't tie up when you get to that point in editing. You want to make sure you have all the footage, maybe more than you need. And then it just turns into like a huge editing project and you realize that you're throwing half of it away.
Like we literally threw more than half of it away. And so this time we're just like, well, which part did we not throw away? It's like the World War II survivor bias thing. And so we just only built the plane around the bullet holes. But it was really fun. It was really fun. Honestly, it was kind of a nice...
It was like a summer camp.
It was like a summer... It was a refresh, though. Like, we're so saturated by doing YouTube. You know when someone calls me a YouTuber, I just like feel weird about it because I'm like, well, I don't know. I just sort of am like a guy that posts videos to YouTube. Like, I don't think about it. Like, I go to the grocery store and like nobody... I think I get recognized like maybe like once every 2 months, right? Like, it's basically never. And so I don't really, I mean, I think I am a YouTuber, but I don't really like think of myself as a YouTuber. And so being around a bunch of smaller creators that are like talking about how they watched all of us growing up was very, I don't know, something. It was kind of grounding. Very grounding.
I don't like it.
And then they're going to be the ones that end up taking our jobs.
Good. We don't deserve them.
That's why I don't like it, because the guy, I'm joking, by the way, but also
he's not.
There is that part of me where the person will be like, I think I've been with you guys when people would say that. They're like, I love you guys so much. I watched you for like my whole childhood.
Yeah.
And like it really got me through my degree. And you're like, what?
You're like, I just like...
And they're like, yeah. They're like, yeah. I'm like, I graduated now. And like I watched you for a lot of my childhood. And you're like, how old am I? How long have I been doing this for?
Yeah, I know.
And then you realize it's like they started when they were like 14 and they were 24. Yeah. So it's like they watched it through like all their formative years. And it's like a huge portion of their life. They're watching you and you're just like, it's both like, that's awesome. But also I'm like, holy crap, I affected this person's entire life. That's like kind of scary. But then also I'm like, damn, I'm getting older.
That's definitely exactly how I feel. Or I'm like, I'm just sort of like confused. Like I'm not ready for this sort of like emotional thing. Cause you just like, Kevin and I just like building a mobility scooter in his garage.
Yeah.
Like that's the day to day, right? Or
well, that's the same thing that these kids are doing day to day too.
Yeah. But like to like, someone to come up and say that this sort of thing that you see is just like a stupid thing, like it's your job.
It's like motivating them somehow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like you like every Friday I'm up to like 3 a.m. making a thumbnail for a second channel video because they didn't do it earlier in the week, earlier in the day. And like, that's what it is to me. But to like other people, like it means more. And it's, I don't know. I like genuinely, I have no idea how I'm supposed to feel about that. I just sort of don't experience that all the time. So this past weekend was a very I would say good.
Yeah. I mean, I was literally confused a lot of the time because they're all like Gen Z.
Yeah.
And okay, so we did a telephone challenge where one person has to like, it telephones down the line and then we have to like relay the final message.
One team would pose like a photo booth and then the other team had to one person look at it and then they had to run up and describe it to the next person like a relay race. And then at the end of their team was somebody who had to paint the description that the first person passed into the relay race.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you like, obviously like information gets lost every single step of the way.
Yeah. And mine had to go through like 2 girls before it got to me. And they were like, okay, yeah, like it's giving, it's giving like vampire energy. And I'm like, what does that mean?
What is vampire energy?
I don't know. They're like, it's giving
is this like a Twilight thing?
I have no idea.
Because like vampires when we were growing up,
I couldn't understand what they were trying to tell me.
Vampires when they were growing up.
Yeah, they were like referencing characters I didn't know.
Because I think like Buffy the Vampire Slayer would be like our vampires, and then theirs would be Twilight.
They were like, oh, it's giving like and then Dora's like pop girl, like a girly pop energy.
Oh yeah, I didn't know what that meant, and then she just pointed at herself, and I was like, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means. I was like very confused.
Please help me. But it was a lot of fun, and I think we have a good flow, so that we can do exactly what we did last time, except then after we can do the thing we normally do after, which is to just butts around in a hot tub and drink beer.
Finally back to the old ways.
I know. But one of the things that I did, like, to try to improve,
I'm getting a Coca-Cola
this season. Is there Diet Coke? Get me one if they have it. The mini fridge might have it if it's not in the big fridge. Yeah, the big fridge got destroyed. I think we went through like 36 pallets of Diet Coke. I think, yeah.
Wait,
I think we went through
36. Okay.
So like over 100.
You said pallets. I was like,
well, it's like the pallets you can carry. It's like
cases,
the 36 pack
yeah.
of Diet Coke from Costco. It's like a pallet. It's like the cardboard little crate pallet thing.
Dude, people are just absorbing the chemical.
It was insane. And I think like we probably total had like, what do you think, John? 20 people or a little under? No, 20? Yeah, probably 20. So 20 people every day. That means everyone's on average consuming like 1.5 Diet Cokes.
That's not that bad, actually.
Yeah, but it was not everyone's drinking the Diet Coke. So there's probably some people drinking like 4 Diet Cokes a day.
Oh yeah, no, they're all addicted to the Coke.
Oh my God, the number of half drinking cans. I was dumping so many yesterday. I'm like, what the?
Really?
Yeah, I'm like,
not me. I slammed them.
I was ready to go buy a truckload of AirTags and like force everyone to put their, like, if they want a soda, they have to like stick their AirTag to the bottom of it.
Oh yeah. No, they kept getting confused because they would all put them down on the same table and then forget whose is whose. Oh, speaking of forgetting things that were put down on the table, I brought my magic cards out for them to play. And the gust of wind came and blew them all across the table. And they ended up mixing all the cards together.
No!
Yes, you guys.
The decks are toasted now?
Yeah. A lot of them were in like the same sleeve, like white sleeves.
Oh, no.
And then the commanders in the white sleeve decks were black, so they were easier to find. And then they put those in the black sleeved decks. So now it's all mixed up.
It's going to take you like an hour or two.
Yeah.
Keith. So one of the problems we had last year during Sky the Coyote was the sheer quantity of like card ingestion. So it's one of my least favorite parts of making YouTube videos is just taking the camera out of the card and putting it in the computer. Like, it sounds insane. I've complained about
unless you've tried doing it before, and then you know exactly what he's talking about.
It's like there's something about like, oh, I want to see if what I filmed fits. So you turn the camera off, you open it up, you pull the card out, you drag the card over to the computer, you plug it in, you open the folder, you like have to go dig through the file, you drag it into the open file, you like into the footage, drag it into your timeline. Like there's something.
And it's like, oops, missed the folder. Now it's like just going like directly to the root of the hard drive. And then you're going to have to move it again.
Right. Doing that over and over again and then trying to keep track of like which files on the card you have dumped already and haven't.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy if you just drag them all into the same folder because then it's just like, oh, you have, you want to overwrite these files or ignore them. You're like, ignore them. But like, what if you have old files on a card? Like, this is literally just like bad. It's just doing a bad job at like.
And then you look down at the desk and there's like 10 more
cards and then
more cards in the queue.
Right. And it's if you're working on one project, it's fine. But like the instant it starts turning into a big thing, it's like, oh, Jesus. Like, then you have to know like, what do you drag like GoPro footage in here? No, we don't use GoPros anymore. Screw that. Instas. And so it starts to become this spider of this mess.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically 24 hours or maybe a little bit more, like 36 hours before we started shooting, I fully, this is going to sound horrific, fully vibe coded.
Yeah.
A card ingestion system. And during the production, fully
trusted it,
debugged it.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to describe this. It worked so well. And it got handed an enormous number of edge cases that I debugged live. I'm trying to like, I don't know. Like, I don't think this is standard practice. And I think this is a very weird, we backed up the files just in case too. But basically plug a card in. It sees the card. It downloads the card to a buffer, which was just an NVMe attached to the Mac Mini. Creates a hash of the file. Creates a unique ID of the file by hashing the first megabyte of it. It then puts it in the buffer and then transfers it to the NAS. And it has a full like manifest of every single file. If you unplug a card halfway through transfer, when you plug it back in, it then goes back through the manifest, compares it, realizes it's the same card, figures out the difference, and then continues copying.
Cool.
So if you plug a card in, the first thing it does is a walk, looking at all the files.
Mm-hmm. And
if you unplug it, it now knows that there's files it needed to collect that it wasn't able to collect, and it still shows them in the manifest with errors. So
cool.
It literally knows every single file that you've plugged in to your computer.
What will it do if you plug in a card and you have two cameras, just wiped, they both have identical file names?
It will. It does not care about the file name.
No? Okay.
No, it does not care about the file.
But when it's moving it into a folder,
that was one of the edge cases.
Okay.
And it did, because we had the manifest, we were able to tell if we so like basically like while programming, or like while the database is like running, you can, this is the part that's really bad. You can basically continue to program it.
Yeah. And just like push new code into
exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yes. And now every time you hear a story about some company's database being wiped.
Yeah. I know. You're giving a lot of like film people like really bad anxiety right now.
I know. I definitely, it was an experiment, and it was like, we were still recording stuff, like dumping it manually, but like it works so well.
Is it like a Python script? Is it a exe file?
It's everything. It has like a web interface. There's Python scripts. Yeah, it's got literally, it's got all the different things. That was one of the prompts I gave it, was to just use every language that you can. No, I don't know. It just I don't, and I'm trying to find something like this you could buy, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And I'm like, this is like such a huge problem for me. And we had corrupted footage last time, and copying your files to a hard drive is like not going to stop corrupted footage. Like that's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so by making sure, like, it reads the card twice, right? So it reads the footage, hashes it, reads it again, hashes it. So that way, if anything happened, which I think like the most common like errors are going to come like from the card read to the computer, because like the cheap card adapters sometimes don't do a good job.
Oh,
and so by reading it twice, like if you get the same weird bit flip a couple of times, like the footage is probably just corrupted on the card. But if you read it twice and it was just during a transfer, then you're like, oh, cool. The hashes don't match.
So did you lose any files?
Did not lose a single file.
Nice. No corruption?
No corruption. Nope.
Awesome. The
only thing that happened, one of the edge cases was it kept getting, for some reason, it kept the state of the switcher, the ATEM that we're using, the Blackmagic like live stream
deck with a bunch of buttons on it to switch between cameras.
So it was pulling footage off of that over the network. So it was ingesting SD cards, CF Express cards. It can ingest hard drives. It can ingest network drives,
like live streams.
Live streams. So like, but it doesn't pull it live. It pulls it once the session has ended.
Okay.
That was a problem where it like kept it would like pull the session in, and then it would like something would get reset, and then it would see it as like fresh footage, and then it'd be like trying to ingest it again.
So like you gave it, like when you were coding this, like one of the prompts is, like, do not like just copy the footage. Copy the footage. That's your main objective, is to copy the footage.
No, it was fully brainstormed before any programming happened.
But then you got to a point where it was like it kept copying the footage off of one card. It was like, didn't it like create a bunch of duplicates?
That was the Stream Deck.
Okay.
But it did also, so like that was like, this is the sort of the weird edge cases like that you would do yourself if you were programming. I mean, I would have done such a worse job programming it myself. Is the footage would leave the immediate sort of buffer after a while. So if you put a card in again, it would not recompare it to the catalog. It would just assume it was new footage.
Yeah.
If it sat for too long.
It just kind of reminds me of like the thing with the AI, how you tell an AI, like a super computer, that you want it to maximize strawberry production in your fields, and then it ends up diverting all of Earth's resources to growing more strawberries.
Protect this footage at all costs. It like every single server in the world gets hacked.
Yeah, hacked. Yeah. all the electricity gets like diverted to your house.
Yep. I've been researching this stuff so much recently. Like I think that you're starting to hear the signals, like the noise, the AI noise get louder and louder and louder, right? And I feel a lot of feelings. Like there's definitely a lot of concern. And I feel that the more I understand about like the future of it by experimenting with it, the better you can sort of predict what the hell's going to happen next that's going to affect your real life. Like I was looking into the open source models too, right?
Yeah.
This is communist theme song plays. Yeah.
There we go.
Like if they're going to steal our YouTube videos,
okay,
to train a model, then like that's my model.
Yes, you can steal their model.
That's your model. And so like I had never really dug into this before. Honestly, I'm like amazed by anyone that has done deep dives into AI like before sort of the progress that has happened in like the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Like people have been in this for years and years, like really into it.
Yeah.
Like that's some insane foresight.
Definitely.
Like, genuinely insane. And when you hear like the CPUs use a lot of water or like the AI uses
data
a lot
centers,
of data centers.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means? So like I started digging into this because I was just curious, right? I'm like, okay, like what is actually happening right now, right? Like you have this box that can just like it can write the software for you, which is insane. Like it's actually crazy. It's magic, right?
Yeah.
And if you haven't written any software with it, like I would strongly recommend like at least playing with it to educate yourself on like what's happening right now. And I'm curious, like, okay, well, what is me writing this program? Like, what does that actually look like? So I started digging into the open source models, and you have like, you've heard like DeepSeek before.
Yeah.
And like there's one called Quen. And then there's a thing that I learned about called like quantizing, where they take these big models and they simplify them because you have to hold it in like your GPU RAM.
Yeah.
And the big models are like basically you need like, I don't know, like a terabyte of dedicated GPU memory. And that's insane, right?
Yeah.
And so when you start thinking about that, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, like what kind of computer, like what is a data center? And it's like, it's computers that can hold these unquantized models. I'm not an expert. This is the research I've done over the past 2 days. And so what you do is you buy like a couple expensive GPUs, or what's most interesting to you? What's like the big computer, or what you can do at home, and the difference between the two?
What do you mean?
So basically,
I would start with the big computers.
Okay, so this is when you use ChatGPT or when you use Claude, or even DeepSeek. Like what's happening is there's a computer in a data center that has a fucking enormous amount of memory, like gargantuan, like $300,000 rack.
Yeah, like just loaded up with RAM.
When you send a prompt to ChatGPT or Claude, you're talking to a computer that costs like $300,000.
That's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And you need that because this sort of the amount of memory required like doesn't really exist in consumer hardware. Like the only way to get even close to it and you're still not touching it is like multiple like NVIDIA GPUs.
Yeah, and like they have like special GPUs too that have way higher RAM than a normal graphics
and those
like gaming
cost,
GPU.
Like those are $10,000.
I think they're like 10. Yeah, they're like 10K each.
So you're like, okay, well, what's the water thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the water? I don't understand the water. Well, so then I'm like, okay, well, how much power do these $300,000 computer use? They use as much power as the like 240 volt Tesla charger. So imagine like running this computer is the same as like charging your EV at home at kind of like the max output to your car.
Like about like 10,000 watts, close to it. Yeah.
And so that is an insane amount of power. And so like what a computer does is it turns electricity into heat. And through that process also does a shit ton of computation. But like your EV, you're turning electricity into chemical energy into a battery, right? So you're not like just dissipating it, but a computer is literally just burning it. So imagine driving your Tesla and holding the brakes down. Both like as you're driving, you're holding the brake. You're just turning all the battery power into heat directly in there. Like how much energy that is and how it has to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So like when they talk about water in a data center, like that's what's happening is you're essentially driving like 10 kilowatts through this rock that can think, and it makes heat. Like if you were to look at it from an electrical standpoint, it's just a fucking heater.
Yeah. The resistance of all the circuitry and wires combined in all of the little microprocessors and in all the RAM, every little wire is going to create heat.
And so then they're like, well, we have to get rid of this heat. And you can't just use fans. I mean, you can, but like the cheapest way to do it is to cool it with water.
Mm-hmm.
And the cheapest way to cool it with water is by just pulling water out of the ground.
Yeah.
And then running it through a heat exchanger. That's it. Like that's what they do. And then they just like drain the water out. Like that's sort of the bad way of doing it. Like there's better ways of doing it, but it's like the capitalistic, this is cheaper to just dump the water. I mean, you know, when you when you would like distill alcohol or you do any of these distillations, like a lot of times it's actually just really easy to connect the hose up to your sink
instead of having to bother with like trying to get a bunch of bags of ice and do like a cooling loop. You're just like,
so
it's only going to be like an hour.
Your induction heater has a cooling loop.
Yeah.
Like how does that work?
So everything makes heat. Like the coil that heats the metal also makes heat. It gets hot from the metal radiating heat towards it. And if there was no way to get rid of that heat, eventually the water would turn into steam and everything would blow up.
Like nothing would work anymore because the water would get too hot.
Yeah. The circuitry would all overheat and bad things would happen. So the water goes through a radiator.
Yeah. So it's just like your car.
Yeah.
Like your car coolant and like the engine coolant gets hot. And so it goes into the radiator and then the fan connected to your engine like cools off the radiator and then the coolant stays cold and your engine doesn't overheat. And so they do the same thing, but instead of having a fan that's cooling the radiator, they just pour water through it at like an industrial scale.
Yeah.
And
some of them have like cooling towers and evaporative like towers.
It's way more expensive though, because for whatever fucking reason, they just don't get charged more for the water. They probably actually get a discount on the water. And so like, you know, like how much power does your induction heater use?
Like 10, 20,000 watts.
So imagine like your induction at full tilt, which is basically consuming every last drop of power coming into your house.
Yeah. And that's just, I mean, and it's probably like pretty, I don't know. It probably dumps about like 25% of that is just heat generated that's not being put into the workpiece.
Yeah.
And it still creates an enormous amount of heat. So I could imagine like also the heating, like if, like how fast I can heat up a steel rod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a lot of heat.
It's a ton of energy. And like, if you start adding it up, you realize like, you know, asking a question or generating an image are like, I mean, the image generation probably is way worse. So you're like how much money and electricity did it cost to generate that image? Like I was reading an article that apparently like Utah is about to like build a data center that uses more power than the entire state.
Yeah. The super like massive, I forget what the term, Omega data center.
And it's like, okay, Jesus Christ, Latter-day Saints, right?
Yeah. That's progress. It's a march towards progress.
So I don't know. I think that like what I looked into sort of just after that ballpark, right, was what is the communist theme song version of that? And apparently you can just do all this stuff yourself. You don't need
I've looked into it before.
You don't need a $300,000. You don't need a house.
I was excited to try to do it myself when I got my new graphics card, the 5080, and I was very quickly humbled.
Yeah, so I learned a couple of other things, and that you still actually have to spend quite a bit of money, but not $300,000. Like the quantized versions, right? So you just like take a model and you kind of just like lobotomize it. You like smooth the edges over a little bit. And they like give you okay results, but it's still functional. It's just not quite as like sharp as the like unquantized one.
Mm-hmm.
But you can run this on like your GPU on your computer.
Yeah.
And then if you want something more functional, then you need like 4 GPUs.
Yeah, I mean, they have like basic computer vision that you can run on a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah. It's like baked into it. So then there was another. So somebody showed me a thing.
It runs very slowly and it has a smaller set of parameters, but it can still do it.
Dude, well, so they've stuck them on like ASICs.
Oh, okay.
So they've like taken the model weights and stuck them in an ASIC, and it like can shit out answers in like just microseconds.
Yeah, but are there any consumer ASIC chips or tensor?
So I started looking into
processors.
that, and apparently, I mean, not apparently, basically making ASICs really expensive, right? Like in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, or I mean,
and they have to be made for that specific purpose too.
This is probably in the hundreds of God.
So you can't repurpose your old Bitcoin miners, to be LLMs.
Exactly. So there's like, I just basically like the field, like what feels like is happening right now is like the models, I think are like, I mean, kind of public. Like the open source ones or the open ones are like actually competitive with the closed one. But the thing that you still can't get is the hardware. And I don't know what that means. Is this like maybe the future is like a landlord situation where you have to like rent the hardware, like you don't own the hardware.
Oh.
And so if you want, like basically like, the future, and then people complain about AI all the time, but like it just, it's like the
I don't think so. It's going to follow Moore's law like everything else. The data centers are going to get smaller, but also grow big. Everything's going to get more efficient so they can like fit more calculations and more RAM, and everything's going to get more efficient. It's going to be cheaper to make the RAM. The RAM that they do make is going to be twice as good, half as cheap.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. Here's something that I think is very interesting. I have always just not really been a fan of Apple.
Okay.
Apple computers are like the answer right now.
It's pretty crazy. Every time I look this up, everybody's like, oh yeah, you should do this on a Mac Mini.
Yeah.
Everybody uses Mac Minis.
An Apple computer, and it like, I think we can all agree how bad Windows has gotten in like the past couple of years.
Yeah.
And I, for the first time in my life, like started using Linux a little bit, like actively, like, Ubuntu, installed Ubuntu. And for now, the first time in my life, I have a desire to like buy a Mac. So we have Mac Minis that we use for editing, and I'm using that now for some of these like coding experiments. And the reason they're so good is because Apple does everything. It's like a mobile phone. Like they basically made a mobile phone chip, but it's like the computer version of it. Like everything is integrated. And so it uses like 200 watts. Like the equivalent PC is like 2000 watts.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do any of this stuff.
They're super efficient.
Like why? Like if the future is essentially you like talk to your computer and you have, I'm just guessing, right? Like I think that's where this is like obviously going. And you like don't need the nightmare that is like the desktop environment, as you don't like need to fully understand it as well. Like why would you use a Windows PC if it was 10 times less efficient, like hardware wise, and it was more expensive?
Yeah. And
like there's a version of the Apple computer right now that like I think it's the M3 Pro, not Pro. Is it Pro? I don't remember. It's like the one above the Mac Mini. And you can't even buy it, but it has shared memory.
Oh, okay.
So the RAM that's inside of it is also GPU RAM.
Neat.
And you can get 512 gigabytes. And that's the closest you can get right now to
wild.
Running the unquantized model. That is essentially what some of these like all these big players in the game are doing.
So you can't even get those.
You can't do it.
No, they're all taken up
They're all taken up. And I was on eBay looking, and I feel like there's like a bunch of
small scale data centers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so it's a very interesting, but it makes me think of like I think things are changing so fast. I think they're changing so fast. And I'm just like trying to like keep a finger on the pulse of like what is happening. Like what's the future?
Dude, I've been saying it for a long time. I think in the future, everybody's going to have this like black lump of silicon on their desk. And it's going to be like its own super intelligence.
So I think the reason that doesn't exist right now is because like the models change so quickly that nobody wants to invest in that.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything has to be dynamic, right? It's like the FPGA of an ASIC. Like the FPGA is a dynamically settable like digital circuit basically.
Yeah.
And So you don't go and build an ASIC, you use the FPGA, because even if you have to spend $1,000 on a chip for everything, but you're only making 100 of them, that's $100,000. Whereas like making the ASIC for your chip would probably cost you, double, triple, quadruple that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's like been some experiments that have like done this, but I don't think it's gonna like happen.
I don't know. I mean, like the fabrication technology is advancing just as fast.
Yeah, but you still have to invest. Like it won't. It's like, why would you invest the money to do that when then it's gonna just like be under? Like I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
Like what do people want? They want the thing that just like is in their pocket, or do they want the thing that's like the like front end? Because like, it's just like a prediction engine. Like you can just take a bunch of signals and shove it into this box and use it to predict the stock market. Like what does that mean? That if you don't have the best one, you're not going to be able to predict the stock market as well?
I mean,
that's what they do now.
Yeah, there's like a cost benefit. It's like, okay, if we spend $1 million, we'll be able to make, $2 million. But actually, they're talking in billions and trillions.
Yeah.
So it is worth it just for a small percentage gain.
Yeah. Is it like?
I mean, that's why computers have come this far already, because it makes everything that much more efficient. It's that much easier to make money with a better computer versus somebody else.
Is it, are we entering a future where like Siri is good, but then that's like maybe bad? Like, I don't know. I think, do you ever, like, I don't know if it's something that's good for you because you already like have you already sort of developed a skill set outside of that environment. Like imagine growing up on Mars, your bones are weaker kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so here you like have stronger bones, and then
belt,
and all of a sudden,
asteroid belt,
right? You just kick everyone's ass because you have Earth bones. It's like some Gundam storyline or something. Is this a thing where everyone just has a? Okay, so this is how I feel about Claude Code. I feel like I have a developer chained in a closet, like a really good developer chained in a closet, like not just like an intern chained in a closet, but like a 10x. Engineer, like software developer chained in a closet.
Who's yours? Your employee.
Like completely at your bidding. And
you
like,
don't even have to feed them.
You don't have to feed them.
Yeah.
They don't sleep. Like they can work on like 6 projects at the same time. And that's it's a feeling that I don't know how to describe. Like it's an experience that I've never had before of like just being able to like almost, it feels like a simulation. What is that future? Where's that going?
I don't know. But in 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you'll be able to run the equivalent of like what Claude is right now on your phone.
What does that mean?
It means that the models are just going to get better.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Oh, I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, but like,
probably.
Maybe. I have no idea. Like, how much did the internet and like having access to like Wikipedia, change things, right? Because you used to have to like go look stuff up in a book in a library, and maybe they didn't have any information on it, and so you had to
and that's why it took so long for us to be able to figure out what a freaking germ is.
Yeah, and so now you can figure out things much more quickly. Is that better, or will it make people stupider, or is it like both? Maybe both.
The smart get smarter, and
the dumber get dumber.
Yeah, more AI slop versus AI. Advancement and cures and research to cure all diseases.
I talked to somebody the other day that had a really, 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 really interesting.
And we can live forever.
Yeah, is that good though? Do we want that? I think the threat of death is actually that keeps this society more well oiled than people realize. The story was there was like an improvement in the efficiency of steam engines during like a coal shortage in Europe. And I don't know the details of the name of this story, but the thought experiment is, okay, you have a coal shortage, or like in the 70s, you have like a gas crisis, right? And so it puts a shit ton of pressure on industry to make gasoline engines more efficient so that you don't use as much gas, or you don't use as much coal by making the steam engine 100% more efficient. You get twice as much energy out of your coal now. That reduces our steam or our coal consumption, right?
Yeah. Right? Does it? No?
Nope.
No. Okay.
What happens?
Now you have, I don't know, cheaper coal?
More steam engines.
Yeah.
And so it creates this like kind of non-linear thing where you think, oh, if they make it this, then that happens. But actually it like increases consumption. So like the instant it gets less expensive, the consumption increases. And if the consumption increases, then you like, now all of a sudden you're consuming, twice the amount of power that the state consumes.
I feel like there's something wrong with my developer in my closet.
Why?
Because I was trying to have it work on my scooter today. And I had to whip it. It was being naughty.
What'd it do?
It wouldn't read the documentation I was telling it. It was like, okay, it's Lisp. It's the Lisp script. Yeah. And it just couldn't figure this one part that was wrong with the code out. I knew it was the code because I troubleshooted everything else. It was the code. And I'm like, can you look at the code again and just like go through it again to find out what the problem is? And it's like, yeah, but did you check all this stuff that I told you to do before? And I'm like, yes, I did. And finally, I just I started a new chat, and I gave it to it again, and it told me to troubleshoot again. And then I did
it in deep thinking mode.
No, because I was just on Sanders' laptop and I didn't want to I couldn't sign in to my account.
Oh, okay.
It's like
you're using a free tier?
The free tier.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I know. But if eventually it got it. And it's like, oh yeah, of course. How did I miss that mistake?
Silly me.
Yeah. It took like an hour. An hour of gaslighting me
Kevin.
into thinking that I didn't enable CAN forwarding between the two VEST controllers. But my point is now it works and I have both wheels spinning.
Really?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Let's go.
But now the next problem is it's drawing twice as much power as like each motor is drawing like 150 amps from the battery, and the battery itself can only put out 150 amps.
For how long?
Well, I think like you said earlier.
Is the battery just saying, here you go?
Yeah.
It's not stopping it.
Well, not in that time frame. But like when you do a wheelie, it's so quick. It's like the BMS doesn't trip.
Yeah.
But it's probably not fine overall for the battery.
But the battery should stop.
And also when I do regen braking now, instead of like 35 amps, it's giving me 70 amps.
Shit.
Yeah. So I have to figure that out.
Cut everything in half. Yeah. I think that like no matter what the sort of immediate, like, man, I don't know, dude. I actually think this is like the craziest shit that's going to happen in our lifetimes. Like actually.
So far.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the computer and the internet has nothing on this. Like there's just something. There's something about, there's just this feeling. I just have this feeling. And every time I have this feeling, I know, like, if I don't think about it, just like trust the gut. And right now I've got the gut. I got the gut feeling that there's something.
Yeah, but how could it go wrong? What could be bad about it?
Well, I think that the like societal fabric is the part I'd be worried about. Right? Like I think all the criticisms of, taking people's jobs are like super founded. And actually I think it's more than founded, like actually. And I think it'll make, there's like the whole refrigerator, milkman refrigerator, kind of meme of like people would complain about the refrigerator taking the milkman's job. But like, I think that this is like way deeper than that.
Yeah, but whose job is it going to take?
I think a lot of like middle jobs, like jobs where somebody has to like understand a system or like ingest information. Like I think
like middle management kind of stuff.
Yeah, maybe like I think that you could, I think a team of 3 people can basically do what 10 people can do. And so now it's not just like, hey, this one person doesn't have a job. It's like, oh no, all of a sudden now like 8 people don't have a job or 7 people don't have a job.
Like eventually it's going to take like mechanical engineers' jobs.
Yeah.
Because it can do all
right.
Yeah. I think like that kind of job is in danger,
right.
Not just software development, but any kind of job like that relies on like that kind of like
math
very
and programming
like logic,
and science. Yeah.
Like very linear, like a
right.
Yeah.
Dude, it's gonna like
it's not gonna take a Walmart employee's job.
No, but like also even then, it's like it's kind of
it's gonna take
a lot of jobs,
research chemist for like job.
Yeah, and like even for doctors too, like a radiologist who just diagnoses, radiographs.
If it does a better job at detecting cancer, like I have no idea.
I think
that's probably the right answer is to choose the better diagnostic.
Legally, though, it's crazy.
Do that? No, they just take the pictures.
No, I think they have to look it over
the
too.
Doctor diagnose. They give the official diagnosis. But I think
now that
crazy
I say that, I know some radiologists, and they definitely don't do diagnosis.
I mean, there's the techs, and then there's like the actual.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The doctor. The doctor gives
the
diagnosis. But the thing that I find crazy is you still need legally someone needs to be liable. You can't be like, oh, it's misdiagnosed, and they go blame the AI. Like there's someone has to be legally liable. So there probably is going to be at some point.
That's what insurance is, though.
No, but I'm saying there's going to be something that at some point there's going to be the AI is going to diagnose
that's
statistically
a business.
better. No, but I'm saying that all you're going to do as a radiologist is go, look, I'm just going to stamp my name on whatever the AI says.
If even though, like, I think that's literally where insurance comes from. Is like a company could just basically assume liability at a cost. And then they mitigate, like their business is mitigating or managing the risk. And so then they know what to charge in order to like cover the cases where it goes wrong plus a profit.
You're a doctor and an insurance agent.
That's why they say like all the oil shipping stuff through the Strait of Hormuz is like it's uninsurable, which is the actual problem, because like each individual ship or company can't handle the risk, but the insurance company can. They understand it really well. And so if the insurance company basically says like, we're not going to insure this, you're like, you just don't do it. Because if the people that really know how it works don't want to take the risk, then you definitely shouldn't take the risk.
Yeah. Wait, so one thing I was going to say too is the problem fundamentally with like, I feel like it's just been a general trend in society in general.
Yeah.
Is that like, as technology progresses, it's kind of like the base requirement and knowledge you need to go forward just gets higher and higher and higher. So it's like, if you look back in time, there was a time where it's like, you know, there wasn't much past like blacksmith, you know what I mean? Like chicken farmer. But then it gets to the point where it's like, unless you've gone to school for 12 years, it's like, oh, well, yeah, you're not like, that's the bare minimum to get into something, especially with AI, removing all those things. It's like, unless you're probably higher, like, I don't know, it keeps increasing the bar of the specialization you need. And I think the reality is there's not that many positions to even have, at least right now. But also it's like, that isn't something that you can just as a population level expect from people to be able to do. You can't be like, well, you know, we won't have a problem if everyone becomes, you know, a top tier, whatever engineer and these big are like highly technical things. And you're like, that's just not really going to happen. And I think the result is you're just going to have this gap, kind of like what you're saying, where the middle stuff's gone and the AI isn't, unless there's a robot, but the AI is not going to be necessarily, let's say, doing the lower level stuff, but then there's just this huge gap where the AI eats it all, and then there's like the top tier stuff. But the bulk of the people live and operate in the middle, right?
Mm-hmm. No, like 100%. Like I think just from my like existence with all the problems that I have, knowing that I can like reduce the number of problems I have and solve some of them by making software that I like wouldn't be able to do otherwise because I don't have the time or the enormous amount of money that it costs to develop software. Like I remember ages ago, we hired someone to build a tool that just shoved your YouTube thumbnail into like the current YouTube dashboard.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
To sort of get an idea of like how it stood against other videos. And I think I spent like $3,000 paying a developer to do that. And it would break every other week.
It would. Yeah.
Like every time YouTube would change something, it would just break. And I was just like, this is like stupid. And so we killed it. And then I realized you could do it pretty much just by doing like, you could save the web page, download it to your desktop, and then find the image. And then you could just sort of like run it.
I thought you were going to say you just screenshot the main page of YouTube.
I mean,
put
honestly,
it on your
at
page,
that point,
and
like,
then go into Photoshop and just manually shrink it.
I would edit the text like, you know, through the developer console.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
Like you can just do that, but like it was such a pain in the butt that you're just like, you know what? I don't care. I'm not going to spend the 20 minutes to do this every time. And I feel like right now, like all these little problems that I've always had, you can just not endure them anymore. You can just say, you know what? I don't want to deal with this thing that inconvenienced me. I can just fix it. Remember the guy that like replaced that freeway sign with like a better sign? Yeah. And it like that story where it like lived in LA, like on the 405 or something or 101 for like 15 years. They never changed it. No, because there was never a problem. There was never just like, oh, it was just like, you know what? Even if they knew, they're like, fuck it, it's better that way.
Yeah. And it's also letting people do stuff like that normally wouldn't be able to do stuff. You know, Audrey Ember, like she, this was like some person that used to help Alan edit videos, and she used to work with Safety Third at some point too, right? Yeah. So she's never been good at programming, but now I'm following her on Instagram. She's posting stories like she just got an ESP32 and a bunch of like little modules, and she's going together. And she's like, oh, with like Claude's code is telling me to do this, and she's building like a little Stream Deck box.
It's like solving her problems. Like I think that like, this is the part that I can't. There's two things happening. There's like this tool that is going to let people solve their problems. It's going to like finally give people access to a computer that are not. How do I say this? They didn't install Linux on their PC when they were 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you know that the new generation of like Gen Alpha and even some Gen Z, they're less computer literate than our parents.
Yeah. And I think that's a problem. And this, who knows, is the solution or an exacerbator, a catalyst to make the problem worse. Like, but also, like, since I was in high school and I wanted to make robots and I had no fucking idea how to make robots, the gateway to learning how to make robots has gotten bigger and easier and more welcoming.
Oh, yeah.
Every single year.
It was like impossible to do something like that when we were in high school. We were just talking about like motors, electric motors. We used to have to do stuff with drill motors. That was like the only motor you can buy.
And AA batteries.
There's little crappy brushed motors that you can get at like a hobby store. And now there's motors that can rip your hand off and they're like $10 each.
For a nickel.
Yeah.
Like there's more kids are doing more interesting stuff than I've ever seen before. And I think that a lot of good things will come from that. And so like that's the part of me that loves this, right? Is like, here's this tool that basically lets me get rid of the things in my life that cause me the most anxiety, like genuinely make my life better. Like I can build tools right now that then let me spend more time with my family.
Why did brushless motors get so popular?
Brushless?
Like
China.
Is that all? I mean, they're so simple.
Yeah.
They're so cheap to build.
They've been around forever.
I mean, I guess they must be.
Open source firmware and China.
It's got to be just the motor controllers. It's been like the difficult part.
I would say that largely that was the gateway.
Because the construction is basically exactly the same as a normal motor.
But the open source one is great. How do you make it? And then China comes in and basically is like, oh, I could just like take this design and sell it. And then that's what happened. And so, I mean, like every drone, every 3D printer, every single one of these things came out of open source software, which, not to your point, like what's the big gatekeeper? Software.
Yeah.
It's always been the part of every project that was like the most difficult to get to a point where it was functional. Like the early 3D printer, like right now, I could take I could literally write. I mean, obviously it's because there's a bunch of training data already, but like you could write a 3D printer firmware in like a few hours.
It's like everything else on the 3D printer has been totally maximized. It's been solved and streamlined 20 years ago.
Yes. If there's something you don't like about your slicing firmware or slicing software,
it's just open source, like all the cool stuff that they're doing with 3D printers now is all in the slicer.
Yeah. And if you want to improve it yourself and there's something you don't like, you could just
in the software
clone the repo and change it in like in 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Like it's so stupid fast to make these improvements. And I think like for me, not having to like physically program, but still having to think logically like an engineer. It's like, honestly, I think it's like, it's going to just turbocharge engineers. Like that's how I feel. Like it just lets you solve engineering problems really quickly where you can think about the logic and not necessarily about like the actual programming itself. Obviously, that's why databases disappear. when you let Claude touch your database, but that also sort of might seem like a higher level IT problem at that point. Your company has some brain damage that needs to be repaired. Like
my friend was telling me he works at some basically some engineering company that does like aerospace and rocket stuff, and he was searching Google for something, and it referenced his internal company's documentation on the open web. And he's like, how did this happen?
The same way that those like crypto locker email things happen.
Somehow all of their internal data ended up like as being used as training data for, I think it was Gemini. Like nothing that was like secret or anything like that. Build like rocket engines.
No, but did they take any action, or they just realized that?
Oh, they probably told Google to take it down. Yeah. Dude, and then tried to figure out how it accessed how it pulled it off of their network. Probably somebody uploaded it to
Google Drive,
or just like Gemini and said, "Hey, can you like find this in the documentation?"
Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, so here's jobs that I think are going to disappear. I think anything that has to do with like interpreting information, right? So data ingestion. I built an inventory tool to like help keep track of like what I own, so we don't have to buy as much stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can take a picture of stuff and it like classifies it and it just sends it to Claude. There's not even any like there's no like doing my own AI. No, it's just you just literally Claude. What is this?
Take a group picture. Claude, who here is likely to be a child predator?
Who's the most likely to be a child predator? I think it's a great idea. So there's definitely like ingestion jobs where you have to sort of interpret, or I'm sure that stuff has been kind of disappearing for a while. Even just like regular like OCR. Mm-hmm. People used to just like type numbers into a keypad all day. That hasn't been a thing for a while.
No.
Like. Imagine having to like where would you like hire someone to like count something? I mean, okay, so here's another thing I was thinking, like for fulfilling things, right? Like, because we've been shipping a bunch of stuff for like the eBay, we have to ship the sodas once those are all made. And I'm like, what if I just like get a scale that has a USB out and I connect it to software, and then I connect it to the fulfillment system. I like build my own fulfillment system. Mm-hmm. All I need is labels. Like, why would I pay for anything else? And so you basically just take the next order, generate a label, put the bag on the scale, fill the bag up with the things, the scale weighs it.
The scale is also connected over serial, so it automatically knows it, automatically puts it on the label for you, and it prints it out.
Exactly. So, you would pre-calculate the weight, and then you'd make the label, but you would basically then use the scale to check if the order was correct.
Or you could just put the stuff on the scale and it would print the label.
Or the label like that too, yeah. So it's like you could fill the box up with stuff, but you might want to be like, oh, you put too much of something in there, go check. Like if it was off by
You could have a webcam that looks at what you're putting in the box and then it tells you what the weight is.
Exactly. So then you could go and, hire somebody for, far less money than a more skilled inventory person. You just have them sit there putting stuff in the box and then the camera watches them. And you ever see like the cameras overhead at the self-checkout?
Yeah, like at Walmart.
That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Is there basically like every single thing is trying to be reduced into a like menial task job where a computer does the hard part to keep tabs on things.
Yeah. What is my purpose?
What is my purpose? And it's like you listen to the computer. So I think even
you
like
pass the butter.
You pass the butter. Like you ever seen like the remember Nigel, the grocer, the Walmart robots? I think you were with us when we saw those. They would like scan the shelves.
No, I've no.
No, maybe. Have you seen those?
No, I think I remember.
Like, what's stopping them from just stocking the shelves automatically too?
I guess like dexterity.
Yeah, but like you've seen half of the stuff coming out
the Chinese
now,
robots.
Right? Have you seen the videos where they're wearing cameras on their head, and it's like recording their hands doing things?
Like POV
for like hand training for like folding towels and stuff like that.
Oh, neat.
It's just basically collecting information so that robots can do everything. And I think I would have more faith in all of this if we were more like,
there's only one way this ends, dude. And it's the Matrix.
Exactly. Like that's exactly how I feel, right?
And Terminator. Actually.
Like if we were like Norway, where you had this giant like oil fund and all sorts of like public funding for things, I would be less worried. But that's sort of not how the US operates. And right? You're right. And so what happens when all of a sudden, like you can eliminate like 50% of jobs or turn you can basically take the middle class and say like, welcome to the lower class, welcome to minimum wage. Like what happens then?
Robot maintenance.
Right. Because then you just have everyone who has the landlords of AI hardware all of a sudden now basically they have everything, right? Like how do you extract?
Get it? You get it where the majority of society, like you said, is just reduced to repairing robots and doing, menial tasks to keep the robots going. And
charging batteries with their body.
Yeah, exactly. Then you have a whole robot society above them that's, just functioning. And keeping
that is funny
going.
how it will eventually like softly turn into the robots that we are serving the robots.
Yeah, I know, and that does. I actually, dude, I like the more I think about.
Are we
this,
already doing that? Like,
I think so.
Kind of a little bit. Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is like there's a ramping happening right now, and I think that 99.9% of people have no idea.
I think the transistor was a virus that was sent to us.
Yeah, starting from like the transistor to now, I bet you this AI sort of revolution probably is like the pickup Moore's law needed.
Yeah.
Even if it's not like doubling the number of transistors physically, like volume wise, it's gonna.
Well, like how toxoplasmosis like makes rats kill themselves basically. I think that's what the transistor is doing to us.
Making us kill ourselves.
It's like our like weird brainworm.
Yeah. No, but like actually
yeah.
I feel like if the government was more responsible or maybe like more predictive in a way, like they cared more about the sort of next year and they were thinking more about the next 40 years, I think a lot of things should be done differently. Like, because you can't stop it. Like, if you stop it, like, I don't know. I think there's a reason that like DeepSeek and Quen are open.
Yeah.
And I think it's to not allow the US to dominate, to like focus and dominate it too much. If that makes any sense. Right? Like you're almost sort of flooding the field by like, you're like diluting the power that the US has by making it so that everybody has the tools. Like imagine if one side has guns and they get really good at making guns and then the other side doesn't have guns. It'd be better for the other side to just let everyone have guns. And then your wars would be, I mean, obviously worse, but like less.
But nobody really uses those.
Guns?
No. DeepSeek.
No, people do.
I mean,
no, but like that's it's an option.
It's an option,
right? So it like kind of floods the field of like it's not just these because America sort of is really good at like dominating technology.
So how you said the data centers have like a $300,000 computer. So when you ask,
sorry, they have thousands.
They have thousands of them. Yeah. But like when you ask a question on like ChatGPT or Claude, is that computer all yours for like a fraction of a second?
I don't know, but like, I think, maybe because it has like in memory, it has the model, right? So you're not like, it's not like reloading the model. I think it is entirely yours for the time that you're using it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there's like some pre-processing that happens. Like it's like in a queue getting to the computer and that's like the thinking is it's trying to like, like set up the calculations and stuff for your question. Then when it actually gets to the computer, it's like, boop, and it sends it back.
So that's an interesting thing that I was researching as well. Probably there's a lot of people listening to this and like I'm talking in like third grade AI, but like token generation is the speed at which the model shits out a response. So there's like ingestion speed and then output speed. And you apparently want like, you want to be in the like at minimum like tens of tokens per second because that's how quickly the words come out. And apparently the tokens are like, they're like a word or like half a word or something like 4 letters. And so it's like, you just like, you put text in and then just text comes out. And nobody knows how that happens. And so if you're like if you want to write software, that's what's happening is like you're shoving prompt in and then code come out or what part of, whatever's happening. Like it might be it's more complicated than that. But like you could just basically say, I would like this. And then if it was fast enough, it would just immediately, it would come out immediately.
Yeah.
But the flow that I sort of accidentally did, the database sort of deletion flow this weekend, was I was thinking like it was kind of scary, but then I realized I was like, well, this is like pretty robust. Like unless Claude just sort of deletes something. So like I never actually let it delete anything. Like I never let it delete footage. I only let it delete the like, I mean, just I feel like if you never let it delete it, it has like less of a inkling to delete things.
Oh yeah.
It never writes a script to delete things, but it still can always just delete things. And letting like essentially like having the developer like chained to the software while the database is running and growing. You can be like, hey, there's something weird happening. And then it like looks into it. Or you say, hey, I'm about to plug an SD card in. Watch what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And it like watches the software that's running. That was crazy. And there was some obscene level of comfort I had. And I realized like, have you ever done something in a piece of software? You're just like, I wish it just worked like this.
Yeah.
But it can't work like that because they either will never fix it. This is like Adobe.
Classic.
Right?
Yeah.
Or like they can't add all these features without just bloating the shit out of it, which is kind of like a Blender problem, right?
Yeah, and you can't ask them like, hey, can you implement this feature just for me?
And that's like where extensions or plugins come into play.
Yeah.
You can just basically say like, I want to do this. And then it can dynamically write software on the fly.
Yeah.
And it could just like let you do that thing and then just dispose of the software that generated like the keyframes that you wanted to do a thing or whatever it was. Like,
True.
like imagine, you're doing your laser cutting software and you say like, make a grid of circles in a circular pattern, but like skip every other one.
Oh yeah.
You would have to write an interface to do that, which like CAD softwares have. But imagine being able to describe it like that. And then
that would be cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of thing that I think is like the good future where you are actually like the computer just solves your problems. Like you're in charge of your computer and it will do what you want it to do. And you don't have to like rely on another team of developers to like implement all the changes that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I think is like a part of the good future. Better software, more dynamic.
But you have to say, okay, Windows.
Okay, Windows.
Before every prompt. Hey, okay. Cortana.
Or they finally bring. Dude,
then Cortana yells at you. You need to buy a Windows Gold subscription. Yeah.
Xbox.
Yeah.
Buy an Xbox.
The monkey's paw curls.
Man.
All right. Well, let's do the extra. We haven't done questions in a while.
No, we haven't.
We haven't done a Q&A.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what's going on in Nigel's neck of the woods. Like, what have you been up to, Nigel?
I have been up to...
Save for the extra. Actually, no, give us a teaser for the extra.
I've been up to
As soon as he started talking, John put that on.
Got him.
No, that's it.
All right.
We'll see you guys on Patreon.